Okay then, so today I'm going to be float fishing the canal with some big juicy worms in hope of catching some nice perch out the canal. It's that time of year again where in my opinion the canal fishing isn't so good. The canal's changed a lot and the water's in fact crystal clear right now. I can see to the very bottom almost. That's probably to do with all the rain we've had over the last week. There was a big storm about 3 days ago now where a few trees down there actually have fell in the canal. There's 2 men down there at the moment fixing it and getting it out. But yesterday this is what that looked like. So I was hoping today I could fish around the trees that had fell in the water, because I remember last year there was a storm just like the one we had this week where loads of trees went over. Right where I'm standing actually you can see all of the debris behind me still, but there was loads of fish around them trees that had fell in the water, so it was perfect for fishing really. I was hoping I could fish around them today, but they're already on it and getting the tree out of the canal, so that's a no-go for today. Anyway, I've got a tub of worms here and I've got this rod that I rigged up this morning. I've just got a float and a hook and a couple of shots of weight on there to weigh it down, and I'm ready to go fishing. This is what the canal's looking like, by the way. You can just see to the bottom there. You can't see it very much on camera because of the glare, but it's super clear, which usually makes the fishing quite tough because the fish don't come out as much when the canal's clear. But I'm almost certain there'll be some perch active. I'm just plumbing the depth of the canal at the moment just to get a rough idea of where the bottom is, because the canal's pretty much the same depth all along, this one is from my experience, but I should be on the bottom right there, and I am. Let me just double check one more time. Yep, that is absolutely perfect. I'm right on the bottom in the middle of the canal, which is where I want to be fishing. Now all that's left to do is bait the hook, which I'll do right now. Got a big juicy worm right there and I'll pop him on the hook here. I'll hook him through it twice just so he don't wriggle off. But yeah, there we go. I've got the worm attached to the hook and I'm just going to toss this out right ahead of me now into the middle, and I'll probably get some bites pretty soon. Now, to be clear, I'm going to be fishing a few sections of canal today, not just here. I'll give it about 20-30 minutes here maybe, and then move on a couple of stretches down that way, and eventually I want to end up at the narrow section because I'd like to float fish that with a few worms, because it seems to do well on lures all the time, so I might as well try actual bait there. Right, so I know I haven't been fishing very long at all actually, but I really want to put the worms on a jig head and jig them off the bottom real slowly, because I think that'll pick me up some more bites than just float fishing for them. So I'm going to run back home really quick, pick up a jig head out the shed and come back, see what happens with them. So I'll be back in 1 minute. Right, so I've made it back down the canal. I'm just gonna take off the hook and the float, pop on the jig head, put a worm on the jig head, and then I'm gonna get on the move. That is sorted now. I've got the jig head attached to my line. I've took the float and everything off, so I'm ready to fish with this thing now. I've always wanted to jig some worms on the canal, but I've never got round to doing it, so I just think today's a perfect opportunity to do it, seeing as I'm fishing with worms anyway. It is a pretty massive worm, to be honest with you, and the way you jig this is simple. It's just like you're jigging a lure, like a little paddle tail or curly tail or something. You just thread it through and pop it out one end, so I'll do that right now. Might be a little bit awkward. Actually, you know what, that's easy. Slipped right on that, did. But yeah, there we go. This is a pretty big worm for such a small jig head, but it'll still catch me. And you see how I've just jigged it on like you would a normal lure? That's how you want it. So yeah, here we go, the rig I'm using today. Let's take it off there and get out in the canal with it. Now, you kind of want to just let it sink. When you feel it's on the bottom, you just bring it in ever so slowly, tweak the end of the rod and just jig it extra slow. It's sort of like a drop shot, but the slower you go, the more likely you are to catch a fish. I mean, I can see that on the bottom there, and it's absolutely incredible on the bottom. If a perch sees that, he's gonna smash it. I'm gonna skip this bit where I'm at now, because this is where one of the trees was down yesterday. Obviously it's gone now, but there's loads of debris in the water from it, so I'll just end up getting snagged. So I'm gonna move on to the next section of canal, or a little bit further down at least. Now this came pretty sudden, and I didn't expect it one bit, but I hooked into a perch immediately when I went underneath the bridge. Oh, here we go, under the bridge, and I've got a fish on. No way. There's no way that worked so fast. I might have to start using this method of fishing a bit more. That's insane how fast I've caught a perch. This is an absolutely lovely tiny little perch. He's got so much colour going on with him. I mean, just look at that. He's very colourful. He's so tiny as well, but what a lovely fish. I'm so glad I started jigging worms, because I swear to God I went under the bridge. Within a second I had this guy on. So I'm going to try under the bridge again, but let's walk back over this way and release him. You ready, little guy? Off the beautiful fish goes. Now I've caught him under here, I have a lot of faith in this bridge, and I've never caught a perch under this bridge before on lures or anything, and the amount of times I've fished it, I can't believe I've just caught that from under here. So let's give this worm another go, sink it down to the bottom and start to bring it in. I don't know how fast I'll get another one, but I'll definitely get one more from under this bridge, I think. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can see him. Oh no, he's took the worm. he's took the worm. Perch just took it as I said that. I could see him as well. Yeah, look at that, he's took the worm off with it. But I can't believe I'm getting action under here. I'm gonna put one on and I'm gonna catch a couple more from under this bridge now. Here we go, I've got a fresh worm on. And I'm just gonna roll this clip, I'm just gonna chuck it in. Oh, you watch, I'll catch one. On it goes down. Oh, there we go, already I've got a take. You ready? He's following it right now, this little perches. He's only small, but I'm gonna catch him. There's 3 of them following it. Here we go. Oh, no. You ready for this? Ew, oh my God, no. They keep getting the worm before they get the hook. Wow, let's try it again. There's barely a worm on it anymore. There's one following it again. Here we go. Another perch on, absolutely incredible. This bridge is the new hotspot, I'm telling you. You saw that then, that was just a raw clip and I caught one within a minute. So let's get this fellow unhooked real quick. And there he is. He's only a small one again, but the colours on these are insane. Absolutely beautiful fish. Anyway, let's get him back in and get a couple more from under this bridge before I move on. So off the little guy goes. I barely even caught that on a worm as well. Look at the worm that was on when I caught it. The perch had attacked it so much that it chewed off half of the big worm and left this, and I caught it on that. So that just shows how active this bridge is. There has to be a monster perch under this bridge and I'm gonna catch it. Again, there's another one following it within 3 seconds of it being in. Oh, here we go. That's the 3rd one I've caught, but I didn't film the release. I was talking to some people when I was releasing it, so. But that's 3 perch from under this bridge now. All 3 tiny ones, but as I say, I'm gonna get the monster. I'll probably give it 10 more minutes down here and then I'll move on down to the narrow bit because I want to see how well that's performing today. I think I want to get one more from under this bridge, so I'm just gonna keep tossing it out and it shouldn't take too long, maybe 2 minutes at most, because it's unreal how active these fish are under the bridge today. Not once have I ever caught one from under here too, so I'm really chuffed that I'm getting them. And literally all I'm doing is jigging the worm on the bottom like this, and it's getting attention from all the perch. This might be the most elite method of perch fishing. Here we go, I've got the final perch following the worm at the moment. Whether he'll take it, I don't know, but he's biting it. I'll just give it a minute. He's took most of the worm off of the hook, so this is going to be a little bit tricky now, but I'll still catch one. As you saw earlier, I caught one on about that much of a worm, so it should be fine. I've just got to locate the perch again. I can see them actually, there's 3 of them there. So if I just swim it past their faces, one of them will attack. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna move on now. I'm gonna be coming back up this end anyway later on, so if I wanna try it then I can try it again. But I've had some good fishing so far. I'm gonna move on down a stretch to the narrow section. I usually perch fish with lures, because I really wanna see how it'll do with worms, because I know there's some true monster perch down there. I mean, the biggest I've caught is about 1.5 pounds from there, and there's even bigger ones than that there, so if I could catch one of them on a worm, that'd be crazy. I'm moving away from this now, but I've just got the lure in. Here we go, I've got one on. Oh my God. Look at that. As I'm leaving, I've caught the tiniest perch ever. I was just moving away with the worm dangling in the water and I was just walking and I had 2 takes and I eventually caught this little sucker. I mean, look at how pretty that fish is. Oh, off he goes. But yeah, that was the 4th fish I've caught now. But I'm gonna do that on the way down now. I'm just gonna dangle the worm in the water, see what happens. Okay, here we go. We're at the bridge again. Another bridge, this one is. And I've just had a perch hooked, but I lost it. But I'm gonna tighten the drag a bit because that's the reason I lost it just. But you watch this. I'm gonna hook into another one now. And I mean, the one I had on just here was really nice. He was quite fat. He was bigger than all the others I've had down there. So give it a minute. Oh, here we go. Not quite the big one I was expecting, but it's a small perch. Quite a nice one. Well, it's quite clear to me that perch love a good old bridge. I mean, this one is teeny tiny, but if he can go back in now and I'll catch a couple more. Just so you know, this is what I've been catching them on, that really small worm. I've just caught that one under here and I had the other one hooked in here on this little tiny thing. So these perch must be hungry. I do have more worms in my pocket here, but I'm saving them for later on. And if I'm catching fish on this little one, then I kind of don't need to change it. I'll just wait a minute for this debris to go by, because if I fish here now, I'll just get snagged in all of that. So I'll wait 30 seconds for that to pass. Right, so I was just on top of this bridge here, just messing around on my phone, messaging my mum or something. And I chucked the lure in the water for some reason and caught this thing from off the top of the bridge. Anyway, I'll take him back down and release it now. Off the little guy goes. I cannot believe I've just caught a perch off the top of that bridge, like on complete accident. I didn't even mean to. I feel bad for the fish as well, but that's my bad. I won't be doing that again. Anyways, I'm down here at the narrow bit now, and I've just chucked the worm in for the first time. So let's see how this goes, eh? I've still got that little tiny bit of a worm on, so I've got a pot in my pocket actually, and I'll change them over right now. Grab this thing here, pick out a fresh worm right here, and I'll put him on. That way I'm more than likely going to catch down here. Just thread this thing onto the jig, and there we go, simple, got it on. Now that I've got an actual worm on, I'll try it again. I'll just pop it in the middle there and let it sink. Oh, I'm snagged on that there real quick. There we go, that's off. But here we go. Let's try and get a perch. I think if I want to get the best out of this little bit here, I'm going to have to stand right here now because I can get a good casting range of there from here. So I've been fishing down this little bit for a while off camera and I've honestly had nothing, no joy at all. But if I come down to this widened bit here, I'm sure I'll get at least one hooked. And then there's another bridge just there. So I'm going to try and do that as well because bridges seem to be doing me a favour today. I'm going to try this little bit here now for a moment or two. The last couple of times I've been fishing down here, I've just come and crouched down here and casted this area out, and I've always seemed to have a perch hooked here. This is on lures anyway, not this worm jig, but if anything, this is more likely to catch me. So I'm just slowly retrieving it in on the bottom. I can feel I'm hooking into quite a few leaves, unfortunately, but I'm sure I'll get at least a perch in a moment. I mean, I've had many this video. Probably the best video I've ever had for catching perch. I've never caught so many. But yeah, I'll stick at this bit for 2 more minutes and then I'll head down to that bridge. So in fact, I'm just going to head to the bridge now because I am obsessed with these bridges at the minute. I just know there's some big perch under there. Here it is then, the mighty Bridge 8. I know there's perch under here because about a year ago I had almost hooked into one here, so this should be a decent spot for them. I'm snagged. Oh dear. Okay, so I've moved away from the narrow section now and I've moved away from the bridge I was at. I've now come back to the second bridge I was at in the video. You might recognise it from earlier. It's where I caught one perch and caught the perch off the top of the bridge. But I've come back here now and I'm going to fish this for 10 minutes and then I'm going to go and fish the next bridge for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go home. So I'm going to set myself a goal. I want to catch, let's say 5 perch before I go home. Whether I will, I don't know, but I'm going to try and make it possible. Okay then guys, I've just had a cast and I've got, oh my God, he's the biggest one I've had today, he is. Look at this bad boy, pretty nice perch. Here we are then, he's the biggest one I've had today for sure. He's got some nice colours on him, got a pretty decent spine, but yeah, that's the biggest one I've had today, so I'm really happy with that. And I caught him within seconds of being here as well. This bridge and that bridge must be insane today. They must just be fishing really well. Anyways, let's get this guy back in the water. Off he goes. That's 1 of 5. I found a little spot to where the perch are. It seems every time I bring the lure past this bit here, I'll hook into one. I'm just going to give it about 5 more minutes in this spot here. In fact, there's a perch following it right now. They just come out of nowhere. He's not having it, he's swam off. But yeah, I'll give it a couple more minutes here and then I'll move down to the next bridge where I'll be sure to catch at least 4 more. Okay, I left the last bridge and now I'm approaching the next one. Let's give this bridge a go again then. I have got about half a worm on at the moment, so I'll have to put one on again from my pocket. But this one will definitely catch me something under here. Okay, so I've just seen a massive perch down there. One's just actually attacked my bait and he's swum off. He's back now. Oh, he's back. He's back. Because he was a decent sized one, I must say. I need to get him to bite. Right, guys, I'm down to my last worm. I've just changed it, but I didn't realise that this is all I have left, a tiny little bit of a worm. So I'll put it on and I've just got to hope for the best with this thing. I think the bit of worm I've just put on was the bit of worm I was using down here earlier, and I took it off to put a new worm on. I guess we'll see how this does. Oh my God, there's a massive perch right there. I want to catch him. Let me chuck that right in front of his face. Come on, take the bait. He's not having it. Oh well. He swam right off. There'll be more perch. Give it a minute. I don't think the perch are that bothered about eating this little tiny worm that I've got on at the moment, if you can see it there. They're not that bothered about it. I'm still going to try for 5 more minutes or so, but if I don't get one then, I'm just going to pack it in and go home. I'm probably going to make these my last couple of casts here because I haven't had a bite in about 5 minutes, which must mean that they're not very active because as you guys saw earlier, it was insane how active they were down here. But yeah, after this one here, I'll do 1 more cast, see if anything comes from it. But if nothing does, I'm going to go home and have my dinner. So here we go. Final cast. I'm going to come under here to do it actually. Get a long shot. All the way down. It's all the way down the other end really, so I'll just bring it in quite slowly. And the place it's at right now is usually where it'd pick up a bite. I'll let it sink again, jerk it again, keep messing about with it, but it's right by my feet now and nothing's gonna attack that, I don't think. Oh well. Okay then, that's all the fishing I'm gonna do for today, and I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I'll be honest, I've had probably one of the best perch fishing sessions I've had in a while. First time trying out jigging worms on a jig head, and it definitely didn't disappoint. It's probably my new favourite method of fishing at this point, that is. I'm going to try it again next week and hopefully get more perch than I did today. But yeah, all in all today was absolutely incredible. And I'm very glad I tested out this method of fishing I've never tried before. But anyway, with all that said, there's not much else to say in the video. I'm pretty much done now and I'm going home. So I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss another video in the future. Check out some videos linked on screen here. Become a member of the channel to help fund these videos. And follow my Instagram, wilf_fishing. There's a link for that in the description and I'll leave it on screen here somewhere. So yeah, I'm off for now. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace for now.